All right, we're here, patch 7.3, the finale of the Dawn Trail story. We're going to go ahead and split the patch notes into two videos. One covering just the non-combat stuff, and the other one covering both PvP and the job changes that you're going to hate. I already had to look through them, you're not going to like. But first, we're going to cover the story stuff. Let's dive right in. All right, so first things first, again, we're covering just the story stuff for right now. We're going to go start from the top. We're going to work our way down. First thing, of course, new MSQ. It's going to be starting in the back room. You won't need to worry about this. You're just going to go ahead and go straight to wherever your little icon in the upper left tells you anyway. And they tell you nothing else, as is expected. Echoes of Vanadil. This you're actually going to want to know. You are looking in Tuliolol for your next step in the 24-man. Because I know you're like me. You forgot where you left off for the 24-man. You thought there was a decent chance you were going to start in Mamalja. Don't lie. Don't lie. You know it. You know you were going to. No, you start in Tuliolol. That's all that. It's going to be 4 quests. One of these 4 is going to unlock the thing and do the 24-man. Have fun with that. Tutorials have been added to certain quests with certain objectives. So it's just to be a one-time thing that displays, just letting you know how things like carrying a box is going to work. Have fun with that. Moving on. Phoenix Downs are now rewarded as part of the main scenario quest, Call of the Sea. Phoenix Downs, by the way, we're going to get into that later on. Massive overhaul to them. You're actually going to want to carry a few of them around. New attachment added to New Game Plus. That's going to include Dawn Trail Part 3. So I guess what we're on currently? I'm not sure. Is Dawn Trail Part 3 going to include 7.3 or is that just 7.2? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, new Game Plus. Enjoy that. New stuff available for bicolor gemstones. Good luck with that. Treasure Hunt. You have your second map, and it's not wheels. It's slots. This is brand new, but it's going to work basically almost exactly the same as slots. I mean, as the wheel. So already right now, your current treasure hunt map has a chance to open a portal. The portal will take you to a little mini game. The mini game has you go ahead and pick a door. That's the current one. The other one used to be a Wheel of Fortune. Instead, now it is a slot machine. The key is as follows. 1 gemstone, small win. 3 gemstones, greater win. Big gemstone, great win. Broken heart, get ejected. And a treasure chest reveals a, quote, more grandiose vision. So it's going to be a lot like the golden exclamation mark on the wheel, if I had to guess. Now, keep in mind, these have to appear on all 3 of the slots, on all 3 of the little windows in the slots. So we're going to find out as more people experiment what happens when you only get, say, 2 of them instead of just 3 of them. Like, so far, the only example we saw of being ejected was 3 broken hearts being drawn, and that finally ejected Yoshi P during the live letter. So as they say here, leaving the vault, the duty will end if the following conditions are met. 5 trials are passed, the duty is complete. The outrunners stop on spaces that remove the party from the duty. All party members are KO'd. So even here, they're telling you basically f*** all. Cool. Other than, you know, exactly what you'd expect. Also, rewards in Cenote Jajagural have been adjusted. Oh, right. That's the other treasure map. I forgot that's what the door dungeons are called. Anyway, grand and free companies. Did they finally update something to free No, it's just your standard stuff. New areas have been added for subs. New items have been added for subs. Max sub rank has been increased from 130 to 135. Let's be honest. You're not going to do any of that if you have free company subs. You're going to keep it on the same path you already have dialed in and slowly gain those 5 ranks, because we now can get 5 stops in the Grand Money Tour. And you're going to keep doing that. I know it. You know it. We're all going to do it. Housing updates. It's just more furniture. The log cabin door looks kind of interesting. This kind of looks interesting. Some of this looks kind of cute, kind of interesting. Got some weights to work with. We got a unique scroll shelf here. Can I get a bigger picture of that? No, not in my current setup. Work mat. We got some nice kind of Native American style couch and bedding styles going on there. We got a weird looking tree. Some neat stuff for housing. Of course, the big housing update we're all waiting for, that's next patch, most likely. New orchestrion rolls have been added, no surprise. New aquarium fish has been added, no real surprise. New flowers have been added, you're gonna forget about it, I guarantee it. New stuff available at the Manderville Gold Saucer. I wonder if that bed has the same offset as to the Olal. Maybe? It could be. New cards added, Triple Triad. New NPC opponents been added for Triple Triad. You can now have new character voices in Doman Mahjong. I keep forgetting that there's Doman Mahjong voices. I actually do kind of, sort of, almost, not really, only by force, play Doman Mahjong because I actually know how to play Mahjong. I keep forgetting to get character voices. But now you can add Wooklamat, Kona, and Bakul Jaja. I have to assume that either no one else has done it or it's only for your benefit, because I have never heard anyone else with any voices. But you can go ahead and do that if you so choose. After completing the side quest, every little thing she does as Mahjong and the main scenario Heaven's Ward, speak with some random dude in Gold Saucer to exchange MGP for items that unlock designated voice characters. Oh, well, there you go. I wonder if for Wooklamat she'll go ahead and have a bad read for like Ron or Pon. In any case, voices added in patch 7.3 will be available by progressing to the main story. All right, no real surprise there. The layout of the Mahjong tab in the Gold Saucer menu has been adjusted. What do you mean by that? In any case, the duty support has been added for the following duties. That is Cutter's Cry, the Mezzo Terminal, and the new trial. That is actually kind of surprising because the other two Dawn Trail trials we've had in 7.1, well, 7. We didn't get one in 7.1, but the 7.2 trial did not have duty support at all. So I'm kind of surprised duty support's coming back for the new trial. The following adjustments have been made to Wondrous Tales. New prizes are available in exchange for silver certificates of commendation. The Braxis skins will be replaced by the new maps as a reward for completing 9 duties in a Wondrous Tale journals. The following duties have been adjusted in Wondrous Tales. The Mezzo Terminal, M1, M2, M3, M4, and Vault 1 Iron. Are we all just going to call it Vault 1 Iron, or are we actually going to try and pretend we can actually pronounce what it's supposed to be? I'm going to keep calling it Vault 1 Iron. The following array has been grouped together. Asphodelos. It's now just Asphodelos. It's no longer split between P1, P2, P3, and P4. That's all just P1 through 4. Wondrous Tales now has a feature of actionable duties for each objective. I welcome this because I cannot tell you how many people look at Wondrous Tales and go, huh? But I complete 71 dungeon. Why do I not have a clear for level 70 through 80 dungeon? Like, they're trying their best to explain it, and it's like, I get what they're trying to explain, but I'm also a degenerate. I play this game way too freaking much and am beginning to understand the language that the devs speak, which also is a sign that I am going bat squeak insane. So now they're going ahead, they're just going to have a nice list for anyone to understand. Huzzah, huzzah for all the newbies. The adjustments are made to Fox Hollows. Hell's Cure is now replaced with the Wreath of Snakes. You can also now get a baby buffalo. That's it. The end. Duties that can be recorded have been changed. You don't care. Moving on. The maximum length button has been added to the granaries window in the Island Sanctuary. I thought they weren't going to update Island Sanctuary anymore. You lied to me. All right, they updated the granaries window. You can now set setting the maximum days for 2 exploration areas. All right, so that's good. I can visit my Island Sanctuary even less. Cool. New hairstyles have been added for Vieira. Woo. New hairstyles may add for big cats. Ooh. Bangs will now display when wearing headgear such as hoods, which previously hid them. I'm not gonna lie, I never knew how much I hated this until I started trying to G-pose with a hood on, and then would notice just like big poofy hair just vanish completely. And if you look under the hood, they're just bald now. It's like the forehead has been revealed, so G-posers rejoice. I do love how they're not gonna bother listing it, but a large number of headgear items will now display when worn by Viera and Hrothgar. This has been all the Buns and Hrothgar out there have wanted. This is it. This is all they have wanted. They have wanted nothing else but this. Also, those headgears will now have the ability to toggle whether you can display your, well, actually, they say certain headgear items, but you can now adjust it so that you can have your Viera ears poke through or not. I wouldn't expect headgear to have cute, clean cut holes. I'm willing to bet they just clip through. Or maybe they like deattach and then just attach to the top of it. I don't know. In any case, that's an option that now exists. When using clarinet performance actions, the delay between pressing keys and music has been reduced. Oh man, there's so many frickin' music box, multi-boxing bands out there. They're gonna have to redo half of their songs because now an instrument's gonna be off tune and off key. So much of the automation is gonna be ruined, and I feel no sympathy. New emote isn't added. How has it taken them this long to add a note-taking emote, by the way? The following emotes can be added while can be used while sitting on the ground. I'm not gonna lie, the drink tea, the fact that that's finally available while sitting on the ground infuriates me, because I wanted to, for one G pose, have a character kneeling on a pillow drinking tea, Eastern style, and I couldn't. And it drove me knocking futs. Most of the emotes have been adjusted while sitting on the ground. That is the think, converse, and insist. I think think only made your head tilt. So maybe now think will go ahead and actually let you do the actual thinking emote. Maybe, probably not. All right, I said we're going to skip the battle system, and we're going to do that. All right, moving on. The following adjustments have been made to Phoenix Downs. This is big for all normal combat. Can now be used on players outside of your party. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know there was a restriction before. They can now be used in combat in public areas. I didn't know I didn't know that was a restriction either. They can now be used in combat while undertaking certain types of duties. That being instanced dungeons, that's all your 4-man dungeons. Guild leaves, that's the thing you never do. 4-man trials, that's Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and pretty much nothing else. Oh, and Porta. Treasure dungeons, deep dungeons, the only place you ever used them before. Field operations and variant dungeons. Basically, all of the quote-unquote normal content except for 8-man trials you can now use Phoenix Downs in. The range has now been extended from 5 to 15 yalms, so you can now hurl your Phoenix down like a dart into someone's butt. It'll take 8 seconds to use them, so you're now going to be on par with everyone else casting res. It has a shared recast timer of 6 minutes. This recast timer shares it with all their medicines, so if you use this, you will not be able to tink. You can now stack up to 999. There's no longer a unique applier to it. And it is now available from everywhere. Just everywhere. Find a merchant. There's a 50-50 shot it has it. Everywhere. It's everywhere. Go to your FC house. There's someone there who probably has it. Just everywhere has it. Who knows where. Progress bars will now be... Progress bars will now be displayed under the nameplate of certain enemies. Hallelujah. I can't tell you, this is going to be a godsend in M6S. Or it's going to be really distracting. It's going to be one of the two. Because I can't tell you how many times where it's just like, all right, I think we lived, and then I see a meteor drop in the distance. Oh, we didn't kill the cat because I didn't see its cast bar. Whoops. You can also go ahead and disable this within the general tabs of display name settings in the character configurator. All right. New dungeon, the Meso Terminal has been added. This is part of the MSQ, no surprise. There's a new trial added. The new trial is simply called 3 question marks. The boss is literally just the word hidden. All right. Now, I believe the whole point of this boss is going to be to try and target him right inside his big double D's right there in the middle of the boss. It's going to be very tricky because there's a whole 6 letters that make up the boss, but that is going to be the target area you got to aim for. Real talk though, thank you, devs. I can't tell you how annoying it is to just go through, keep up to date so I can go ahead and inform other people so that whenever anyone has any sort of questions or tries to doomsay about the game, I can go, yeah, no, that's not how it's going. This, and this is happening. I can show you with this, and this. Like, I like doing that. I don't mind doing that. I hate being spoiled on everything because I go and pay attention to all of your teases, and your teas do way more than tease. And they just give it away. We just want a little sample, a little appetizer. I don't want the entire freaking steak as an appetizer. And by the by, there is of course going to be extreme of it. No surprise there. Your entry item level is going to be exactly what you should have for Savage. Again, no surprise. By the by, spoiler, the weapon you're going to get from the extreme is going to be item level 755. Wreath of Snake's Unreal, going to be the exact same item level as all the other ones. It's going to sink you down to 695. Just like the other ones, there's no real gear requirement for the Unreals, etc., etc., etc. By the by, you can now turn in 99 Eternal Tomes of Suffering to go get the wings from Sphene. So if you were someone who was suckered into killing Sphene 50 times, congratulations, you can go get the mount you never won. Not that it matters because wings don't exist. The week restriction has been lifted from the Arcadian Cruiserweight division. And by that, I mean the normal mode. The normal mode, you can go ahead and get all those tokens you actually really shouldn't be getting anymore. Unless you're like gearing out jobs you don't play. You can just go ahead and just need everything if you want to ruin your inventory. The number of Hollow Sabers required for Universal Tombstone 2.0 is reduced from 7 to 4. This is no surprise. You are still only you still can only get 1 of these per week. So it still takes you 4 weeks to get your 650 weapon. I swear the only reason they do this is to make it so that the extreme has a reason to live. Because if you're impatient and want to get a weapon for someone and don't want to wait for your 650 weapon, hey, go clear the extreme, get a 655 weapon, lol. Tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, new Alliance dungeon has been added. You need to be at least item level 725, which is still 5 lower than the BIS of last season, basically. You have no excuse to not get into this. I'm pretty sure you can get into this as long as you can get into the dungeon. What was the item level for Meso Terminal? 720. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. By the way, the Alliance raid, you're going to be able to get 1 piece of gear. You're also going to be able to get tattered second movement scrolls can be found in each party's treasure coffer that appears after each boss. And they can be exchanged for orchestrion rolls in Lower Juno. Also, you can only get 1 piece of loot, resets every Tuesday. You kind of know the deal by now. The only thing that's new is the fact that you can get tattered second movement scores in each party's treasure coffer after each boss. So that's nice. You can no longer get free materia from Juno First Walk. The following adjustments have been made to Occult Crescent South Horn. When entering with an alliance of 24 members or more, you will always enter in a new instance. Do the created instance will be considered occupied for any entry from any players that are not part of the alliance. If an alliance meets the entry requirements for the Fork Tower, Neural Mirage will effectively begin 5 minutes after entering the Occult Crescent. Once the alliance completes entry into the tower, or 10 minutes have passed, the weather will clear and the instance will no longer be occupied. If an alliance fails to meet the requirements, All this work just to make it so that, all right, we have a static of 24 hardcore people that want to go in and challenge Fork Tower. Why on earth did they not just make Fork Tower Blood the same sort of difficulty you'd see in CLL, and then just make a queuable Savage version that's the difficulty of the current one? I just don't get it. In any case, good improvement for those who really want to run it, but holy smokes, I have never seen 14 band-aids thrown on one problem before. It is impressive. Only players who have used a Sagwin Cipher are now eligible to enter Forked Tower Blood. When a critical encounter is in process, the appearance of Oral Mirage will be put on hold. During a critical encounter Calamity Bound, if a Seal Center mechanic will function differently with a low... The Seal Center mechanic will function differently with a low number of participants. Thank God. The items obtained from treasure coffers revealed by persistent pots and happy bunnies have been changed. We knew that was going to be happening. It is fortunately going to be made so that they're actually worth it. In other news, in preparation for the introduction of Pilgrim's Traverse in patch 7.35, the spawn locations of S and A rank elite marks in Ilmeg have been adjusted. The items required to enhance purchase with... Okay. All this is right here, your Twines Brines are now available using the new 24-man alliances, as well as using Sack of Nuts. So you can now turn your 750 gear, except for your weapon, into 760 gear without completing Savage. If you are still doing Savage, you can go ahead and use these to get yourself a bit more gear before you get to your M6s and your M7s. But again, you can't do this for your weapon yet. You'll be able to do this for your weapon in about 3 months, maybe 3.5. Players can no longer join duties in progress that they have never cleared one or more of the duties they've registered for. About Hildy, it's actually later than Hildy. If we're going to go by the history of 7.2, it was about a month after Hildy, which was even more infuriating because it ended up being about like right before the Moogle Tome events. And it's like, oh, thank God I got my new X. Too bad it's obsolete in 4 weeks. Like, they've made it so late now. Maybe they'll do it earlier because there's no chaotic. Maybe, probably not. In any case, if you're going to try and join duties in progress, you better have cleared them. Good. The following duties have been added to the Raid Finder. And Wreath of Snakes Unreal. No surprise. Duty Recollection Extreme has been moved from the Raid Finder to the Duty Finder. No surprise. Players will now receive the power of the Echo when doing Zillennia. Yeah, no surprise. The strength of the Echo has been added to light heavyweight tier. Savage has been increased if you are doing that for some reason. The Expert Roulette has been changed to now just be the Underkeep and the Mezzo Terminal. Now you can no longer go to Yuya Yawata Field Station. No longer be able to see people get absolutely obliterated by a bunny. I know. I'm sad too. Yuya Yawata has been added to the level cap dungeons, and you now need to be level 690 to do level cap dungeons. Also, you now need to do 720 to do the Expert Roulette. Something has been added to Duty Roulette Trials. You know, this is all just kind of stuff we expect. We expect just kind of all of this. The following adjustments have been made to the Instant Dungeon Cutter's Cry. The shifting sands that allow players to progress through the dungeon will now appear after defeating a certain number of enemies. We can no longer just bum rush through the oasis and leave the suckers to die to the stuff we didn't want to bother to. Darn, we have to treat the dungeon with a modicum of respect. What a shame. All the bosses have been adjusted. Again, no real surprises there. By the way, I predict one of the big changes that's going to happen for the Chimera boss, that whole text about his eyes glowing red or eyes glowing purple, it is going to show up in bright red text on that thing that people either love or hate. I guarantee it. Assuming that mechanic still survives. PvP changes. I said we're going to go take care of all that in another video. We're going to take care of all that in another video. Purify has been moved from the quick chat. That's part of the changes there. We'll get to that in a bit. New items are available for crystal trophies. I suspect that because these are now available for trophy crystals, we are not going to see old rewards being added for trophy crystals this patch. People are still under the thought that we're going to see more get added. We're going to see more get added. I don't see it. I don't see that added here at all. All I see is this being added. I think they're just saying, hey, look, we added 5 new outfits for you to change your crystals. That's enough. And they're holding back those rewards for another day when they don't have new outfits to add. Series 9 begins. It contains this nightmare. Look at that nightmare. Don't you want padded clown sleeves? You know what's bad? Where people are gonna go for it. New Crystal and Conflict Arena has been added. So far, all it seems to have is jump pads, and they are one way. That's a jump pad, jumps you over there. The other side does not have that jump pad, so it's a one-way jump. Be ready for that. Also, is it bad? I could totally see a Reaper trick. Jaunt here. So you have your portal right here. Jump. Lure someone over. Teleport back. In any case, it doesn't seem like a very gimmicky heavy map, which honestly would be a nice change of pace. A lot of the maps have been super gimmicky. But in any case, with the addition of the Bayside Battlegrounds, the following adjustment has been made to the arena rotation marked for casual and ranked matches. The Palestria, the Volcanic Heart, and the Castle Town, then Bayside Battleground, then Cloud9, and then the Red Sands, and then it repeats. I completely forgot what Palestria is. I want to say that's like the default one, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, I know that's the bomb one. I know that's the Kugane one. I know that's the new one. I know that's the one where you're up in like the Sky Forest. And that's the desert, the most gimmicky of them. So I think by default, that means this has to be the basic map. The one that looks like an arena, like a Roman arena. Only because I literally don't remember them by their actual names at all. Because they never, ever mention their actual names, ever. A timer will now show for the respawning of medkits. Nice. That's one thing I've noticed in my little hits into CC. There's way too many people that either A, already have add-ons for that are just way too into it. So now this puts a level playing field out for that. Or then also B, like, the main game is never to use medkits to heal yourself. It is to get a paper cut and then consume the medkit so it can't be used against you. I swear that is all people do 100% of the time. Players on the effective Sidarius or Seduce can no longer use jump glyphs, trick doors, shifting sands, or jump glyphs. That was a thing? I don't think I ever saw that. Honestly, that's now really funny. Players can now register to join casual matches in a party of 2 players. Ah, yes. Now I can drag a sucker in with me to go ahead and panic grind out my last series levels. 2 new tiers, Omega and Ultimate, have been added to ranked matches. In case you are a masochist and hate yourself, you can go ahead and try for these tiers. And the amount that's required to reach them differs by region for some reason. Why does it differ per region? Wait, does this mean that PvP is super hot in JP? No. Does it? Anyway, season 15 will end and season 16 will begin. No one is surprised. Moving on. Oh, right. The new data centers that are going to go ahead and have, they're going to be the only place you can enter for ranked matches. Japan will be Elemental. North America will be Dynamis. Europe will be Chaos. And Oceania will be Materia. Because Oceania had so many choices as to what data center ranked PvP could be on. Is it going to be Materia? Or is it going to be Materia? We may never know. New items have been added. These are specifically going to be from the Alliance Roulette. Or not the Alliance Roulette, the new Alliance Dungeon. So moving forward to that. For the most part, everyone's going to be after either Prisha's monk outfit or Shantoto's outfit. Oh no. Or they're gonna be after either one of those two outfits. I'm not even sure what those are. What is that? Fizz range there and scouting there? Because I'm guessing that's fending and that's maiming. That's striking. Lich is saying that the answer class is the armor in red. So this is Fizz range, which then means this is scouting. Anyway, new recipes have been added. These are going to be, I guarantee you, they're going to be from the new, oh, excuse me. They're going to be from the new treasure map. The ability to get that suit along with that dress. That's me, no real surprise. Some item names have been changed because, well, we're getting new ones. Tattered sheet music is now is Tattered first move and score, no surprise. Big Bang tickets now specifically for the moon. And some partitions got renamed. Moving on. Certain items now be sold, desynthesized. Yeah, we know. Moving on. The following items can now have dual die channels. Everything. Frickin' everything. Look at all this shit. Look at it all. Look at it all. As far as I can tell at first glance, it looks like pretty much almost all of the artifact and relic gear from Stormblood and Eureka are in this. That is what stands out at first. But we also got Late Allegan in there as well, which is some of the older PvP stuff. And some of the PvP stuff that you already had options to get, the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2 gear sets, now are all dual die channels. The Archfiend sets, which I'm pretty sure are also PvP. I think False Monarchy and Tyrants were also PvP. Hellhound, I think it's just like a whole boatload of PvP stuff also got updated. And then some of the one-offs, like the Inferno Jacket, was exclusive to the Moogle Tomes. So yeah, whole bunch of shit just got dual die channeled. These new Far Eastern things can now be equipped regardless of gender. Have fun with that. Wait, punching gloves, hold up. Where are punching gloves from? Anyway, a confirmation prompt displayed when dispelling glamours are now also indicates that dies and company crest will be removed when using a gamepad in the glamour dresser window, canceling from the glamour dresser controller. Get better. There's now also a button that will let you sort based on your job when in shop windows. I can't wait to see that maybe not happen. I'm still waiting for the thing that lets shops let you buy more than 99 of a thing. I remember reading that in the patch notes. I still have not found any shop that lets me fucking do that. I feel like I was gaslit. Anyway, the following adjustment was made to when dream fitting set gear. We don't care. Moving on. Summary text explaining how search results now display at the bottom of the search window. Neat. New items been added to gathering points. No surprise. Time-worn Lobo skin and time-worn braxes can now be obtained from certain botanist gathering points and heritage found. No surprise there. New fish have been added. Here's the big thing for... Oh, wait, never mind. This isn't what I thought it was. Crafted. Oh, no, they're not even going to cover it. They just covered it earlier when they said, like, new crafting recipes have been added. Crafted item level 740 equipment can now be exchanged for crafted item level 750. Almost nobody does this, but it's an option out there. I would recommend against it. But if you really want to spend your uncapped tomes for it, go for it. It's convoluted and not worth it, in my opinion. That's just me. What I thought that was the acknowledgement that the new crafting sets are out. So we're going to be seeing crafting item level set 730 or 740. I think it's going to be item level 740 we're going to be seeing for crafter sets in the new recipes. These will, unless something wacky happens, these should be your crafter bis for the rest of the expansion. So crafters and gatherers, your best in slot for the rest of the game until the next expansion is going to be coming out this patch. Unless something crazy and wacky happens, that's also something to look forward to. So make sure you get your melds right, or start working on your melds and then realize that later on new recipes came out and your melds are all wrong, and then spend another fortune to fix them. You know, whichever. Level cap for descent has been increased from 740 to 750. No surprise. Moving on. The following additions have been made to Cosmic Exploration. The option to travel to Sinus Ardorum has been added to the Aetheryte and Bestway burrows. I'm sorry, Driving Way. You're fired. It's over. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. Mounts can now be summoned in Sinus Ardorum. It should be fine for now. I think that when the next zone comes out, that is going to be an absolute nightmare and no one is going to be able to see anything. I think enabling mounts for Cosmic Exploration is going to be an actual nightmare. It sounds good on paper until you see 80 some giant whales blocking your view when trying to complete the Mega Fate. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be. A summoning bell has been added to Sinus Ardorum. Cool. New items can be exchanged for Cosmo credits. I don't even think I've spent all my... I don't even think I've gotten everything for my current Cosmo credits. Whoops. Notation indicate difficulty of Class A missions have been adjusted. Instead of it being A1, A2, A3, it is now none, EX, and EX+. I can't wait for the next area to unlock where we have S ranks. And they start going S, SEX, SEX+, and SV for Savage. I don't know what they're going to be doing. Time allowed for stellar missions have been increased. Good. The sound effects played when starting and completing stellar missions has been changed. Neat. When completing stellar missions, the amount of experience gained for a bronze and silver ranking has been increased, such that all rating tiers now grant the same amount of experience. So if you are using Cosmic Exploration as a way to level your crafters and gatherers, it now no longer matters how much you suck. You are going to gain decent experience all the way through, which unfortunately now might make it a weird spot where you're better off just completing the mission incorrectly just to get it done faster and move on to the next one for maximum leveling purposes. This might backfire a little bit, but we'll see. When completing missions that can be accepted by multiple classes, each class will earn points towards their Cosmic class score. Good. Players can now confirm relative distance of the site of stellar missions via the stellar missions window. So they have like a little thing that shows near, far, very far based on the color of the arrows. So get effed, colorblind people. Good job. When undertaking stellar missions, the objective and gold rating requirements will now always be displayed. Items that will be graded for stellar missions will list the score prerequisites in the description. That gives you a little bit more info so you know about what you got to do to get scores. So that's pretty nice. A notification marker will indicate the availability of provisional missions when they will now appear in the stellar missions window. I'm not gonna lie, I thought for the longest time that the provisional missions was bugged and never worked. I just never saw anything there the few times I checked, and it's like, oh, I guess this just isn't for me now, I guess, LOL. I never checked it. I never ever checked it until like I got to like my 7th relic tool. Whoops. Notifications will not be displayed when sequential mentions become available. Time limit for accepting sequential mentions after they appear has been removed. In accordance with this change, the clock icon indicating time limit will no longer display in the accepted missions. I don't know what that means. When a red alert mission has been issued, the time remaining to accept the critical missions will be displayed in the stellar missions window. Neat. Oh my god, there's so much here. They did so much to Cosmic. When both red alert mission progression engages are filled, periodic announcements will say that the thing is almost done. Mission progress in the windows will automatically display when reporting is only one step, is the only remaining step when completing a mission. Mission log now indicates they made everything better. Okay. Oh, actually, no, there are some important ones in here. I did forget. When completing gathering stellar missions, you will recover gathering points or GP equal to the amount spent during the missions. Upon completing gathering stellar missions, the recast timer of GP required items such as cordials will be reset. So you're no longer going to be bottlenecked because you spent all your GP on a high ranking gathering mission and you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just sit for a while everything naturally regens. And because I already blew through my cordial during the mission. That's not going to be the case anymore. That actually is an important change. Mechas had their time increased from 5 to 10 minutes. Stellar missions for fishers grade based on collectability must be active and begin fishing. So a lot of little quality of life things. This will take forever to go through. Really, for the most part, it's all very minor stuff, but it all adds up to everything got marginally better. New mounts have been added. Where do you think this Yan is going to be? Because I'm willing to bet this mount is going to be in the new treasure map. I got a gut feeling that's where we're going to see it. We're going to see the Yan in the slots machine. Mounting animations have been added when boarding mounts. New chocobo boardings have been added. New minions have been added. We are nearing the end. A torch has been added, as well as other new fashion accessories. New faceware has been added, including a Cyclops visor, Omega style for some reason. Graphical update. Graphical adjustments have been made to player character models based on feedback from the community. To read more about our response to feedback on character models. Let's actually take a look at that. All right, this is actually old stuff. Never mind. It's nothing new. The graphical detail has been appeared on the following gear. A lot. It looks like the Dawn Trail artifact weapons all got updated, I think. I'm pretty sure that those are the names for that. Yeah, Wild Rose was the Endwalker one. So yeah, those got updated. The Manderville relic weapons got graphically enhanced. It looks like some of the other artifact gear got enhanced. I'm drawing a blank. I'm pretty sure these are also all the Endwalker artifact gear. So all the artifact gear from Endwalker gets enhanced most likely. Yeah, that looks like it's pretty much it. And then some stuff from Stormblood and some other things. So some of your gear from Endwalker looks better. Cool. Chat bubbles have been added. They will not display during combat. You can turn them off in your character display menu. Honestly, I think the bubbles look fine. I will probably have them on for stream and then immediately regret it and then turn them off. But we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for someone to go ahead and use them for a racial slur. It'll be fun and exciting for someone. The display range for players and monsters have been increased in the following areas: in cities, fields, housing areas, the firmament, the Manorville Gold Saucer, Cosmo Exploration areas, Occult Crescent, instant areas, everywhere except Balmung Ul'dah. It has not been increased there. Your computer cannot handle more of Balmung Ul'dah. Don't kid yourself. It can't handle it. You don't have that much RAM. You don't have a full terabyte. Although, unironically, that actually will be included. So, good luck, pervert computers. In order to prevent server prevention, the following areas will have instances that you'll get lost in and lose each other in: Shaloni, Heritage Found, Living Memory, and Lower Juno. Incidentally, you can totally expect the MSQ and the new and the new Alliance raid to take you through Shaloni, Heritage Found, Living Memory, and Lower Juno. In addition to Solution 9, which already has 2 instances up, and Tuliolol, which also has multiple instances up. Anyway, the division of Tuliolol and Yaktel in the multiple instances added in 7.25 will be... Oh, never mind. Tuliolol will be back to 1 instance. I guess Tuliolol doesn't matter that much, huh? Solution 9 gets 2 instances, but Tuliolol won't. Get wrecked. The following adjustments have been made to achievements. They're there. You can read for yourself. Basically, they're saying you need to go complete duties. And now it's going to include the trial added in 7.3 that they're not naming, which is good. The following adjustments have been made to retainers. New retainer exploration ventures have been added. New items can now be obtained through quick exploration ventures. It doesn't matter though. Your retainer will always, from quick exploration ventures, return to you with exactly 1 single water crystal because your retainers want to tell you to get fucked. New portrait accent's been added. New pose have been added. This new Hawaiian theme has been added as far as an adventure plate, as well as probably some others. New stickers been added to your G pose so that you too can have a perfect groove. In addition to all of this, a new chromatic abbreviation has been added so you can do fancy photo stuff like this. But let's be honest. You hardcore G posers, you're not going to use this. You're going to use reshade. You know it. I know it. But I appreciate the thought. You also can now adjust the filter intensity. They are doing a lot to try and replace G-Shade. And, you know, I got to give them credit. Good for you. Good for you. And also, new portrait mode has been added. Moving on, new portrait mode has been added. The way it'll work is that it'll crop out what will be a portrait. Then you'll hit the button that says portrait mode. It will automatically rotate your picture 180 degrees so you can take a full res screenshot. And then it'll automatically flip it back. So a little bit of a clunky workaround, but that will give you full portrait resolution. So I can appreciate that. And then, yeah, like I said, new patch logo has been updated to 7.3, new stickers, follow you, etc., etc., etc. Yep, we all saw that. All right, depth of field can now be enabled in group pose and the idling camera, even disabled under the graphic settings. The following adjustment is made to the jog status. Jog will be removed when participating in the slices right and crystalline conflict. They're basically just patching up the jogging effect so that you can't cheese it through other means. The blacklist. They tweak some things on the back end of the blacklist. This means your blacklist is going to be cleared again, just like it was the last time. I suspect this is going to be the last time they make a tweak to the blacklist. Since, for those who are unaware, they did updates to the blacklist in 7.0. Someone made the discovery that they were kind of sloppy when they made their change to the blacklist. And then you could exploit this to gain access to a whole lot of character data that you normally shouldn't be able to with the power of third-party plugins. It took 14 a while, but they acknowledged there's a problem. We're going to go ahead and tweak the way the blacklist works to block this. They did that. It didn't work because it took them roughly a week and they found a way around it. Square Enix was not amused. They sent a cease and desist. That plugin is now dead. There's offshoots of it somewhere around in the dark web, but nowhere near as big a following as it used to, and basically is now completely underground. So, knowing that their current blacklist is compromised, they are tweaking it again and hoping this will probably be the last time they do anything about it. They haven't said they hope this is the last time, but it's pretty obvious they hope this is the last time. And it probably is. You can now adjust the transparency of your chat prompts. An automatic option has been added to the character and object quantity when under display limits. Wait, what? Whatever. Font option is added to the system configuration menu. We can go ahead and change your character display range. These are all settings that we talked about earlier. New things have been added as far as commands, pen, Vera ears, or veers, etc., etc. Additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary. New tropes have been added. New tropes have been added. New achievements have been added. New music, sound effects, and voice have been added. Log messages, etc., etc., etc. Yada, yada, yada. Whole bunch of fixes have been added. Whole bunch of cool things. Known issues. Let's see if anything stands out as a giant middle finger. An issue where female Vera equipping the assassin's robe causes part of the graphics to clip the character's face. Whoops. An issue in Curse and Conflict where custom matches wherein under certain conditions after a Pictomancer is incapacitated after they do not use the PvP action create motif through the end of the match, they will be unable to use the action after selecting the rematch option. Don't play Picto, got it. And that looks like about it. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and cover the combat options in another video, but if you like what you saw, give a like, please subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.